Welcoming you back to crypto's juiciest news. Bitcoin sitting around $83,000. You have a blue emoji, my friend, Bitcoin. I was going to give you a green, friends, but it is a very high alert, high risk type of weekend. Uncle Jimmy Cramer is calling for a Black Monday crash for the stock market, calling for another, that's game over. It's another 27% crash. That's what he's calling for. But I'm going to show you now the monthly candle. It's still green. It is still green. We had 2 red in a row. It's even funny, friends. You know the bears, right? People who are super bearish. A lot of them are like, well, okay, we're going to go down first and then up later. They're just basically saying, all right, I kind of think April's going to be okay, but we're going to go poopy first. So April's going to be garbage first. April, right, is going to be poopy first, and then it's going to finish green later on. So I just always find it interesting. That's in the bull market, right? Most of the crowds here, friends, it's in a bull market. It's like 60% of people are bullish, 40% are bearish. That's actually most of the bull. But you never have with the bears. You don't always have. Not everyone who's like bearish. They don't have. Oh, we're dropping 99% and it's over. You don't. That's only like the tail end 10 to 15%. A lot of the people who are bearish, they're actually bullish, but they're like because they can see the uptrend. And they know how much force it takes to change it. So that they go, okay, no, we're going to drop down much lower and then go up. So what you find is they can't handle the uncertainty of the bull market. That's what ends up happening. So remember, you got 60% of people, I'll show you now. Let's actually look at this ETH BTC chart, which is poopy as well. Just change it to a weekly here because it's very racist, mind you, okay? But you got to remember, in these markets, right, when you have, let's do this 2 sides, okay? You have these bull, let's say you have these bear, and so these bull and the bear, right? Bull and the bear. And most of the time, okay, most of these people from here onwards stay bullish and these people stay bearish, okay? And it's a swing in the middle that's constantly gyrating around, And then obviously at the bottom of the dips, a lot of the people are bearish and at the top of the ranges, they're bullish. But what you actually find is at the tops, like what we saw in April 2021, you have literally pretty much it's like 85% of people bull. That's actually, if you go back, friends, funny, if you go back to Michael Saylor's poll on the literal top of crypto back in 2021, he basically asked, what should you do? Should you borrow on your, but I forgot what it was. It was something like to do with, should you borrow to buy more Bitcoin or basically pay off your loans or something? And it was literally, I think it was done up here. And it was literally, man, it was 85%. I think it was like literally 84 to 85% of people saying they were turbo bullish. So that's the type of extremist swing. So it's hard to measure. It's not something to really worry about. But that's why you just got to be careful because in the bulk of the bull, friends, as we move up the belly of the bull, on the bottoms here, all right, you still get people still bullish. That it is what it is. Okay. You don't get that full amount of the crowd going 100% one way. So it is hard to measure, but that's why the only real thing you can look at is where you go, well, look, bull markets usually die on the euphoria. Usually. They do die on euphoria. Bull markets end on euphoria, especially in crypto, right? Unregulated, the crime season. There's no caps to the rallies. They're trading like a commodity, which is based off people's feelings, right? Of supply and demand. So, even if you watch Uncle Bobby, friends, they'll always say, in a bull market, okay, you wait so long in a bear market and it finally comes here. And you take this for granted because, at the start, it really is true, man. Your number one goal in the bull market is to not fall off the bull. Yeah, it's literally not to fall off the bull. But you don't believe that at the start because there's, so much. You don't even believe you're in a bull. Right now, you don't even feel like you're in a bull at all. But you see, when I say something like, don't fall off the bull, no one really takes that seriously until the tops. Until the tops, well, they go, look, this dude, there were all these times, there was 5 major times for him to basically fall off the bull and he didn't, and he's still on, and look, he's been making money and he's happy, he or she or they or them, depending if you're a doorknob today or not. And so we have to do now the same thing, but fascinating to see the entire crowd, all those swingers, right? All those swingers, the family-friendly swingers, they all decide at the same time, we're not helping off this time. That's it. And then that's pretty much, we're going to pile on more, It's interesting. They all do it at the same time, okay? So, I guess we're looking out for that. Now, I've shown you Bitcoin. Bitcoin's weekly chart, friends, still green. I mean, you got to think about this, man. With a stock market, I've got plenty of videos coming here for you, friends. With a stonk market that has literally the doomsday finisher, like, it makes you wonder, dude, what on earth is this? It's kind of like, it's such a big move, man. Like for stocks to be down 18%, that's enormous, right? Literally near the recession zone out here. Is it gonna see? Isn't it funny? That's what the stocks do. It like closes below the daily level, below the levels here. It's like, okay, now you're in no man's land. What are you gonna do? You're gonna come back and gap down here and do something? Like, everyone's always scared of that. But usually during these times, okay, you got a VIX of 45. So during these times, you're seeing the VIX at 45. Historically, it's a good dip buy, but eventually the VIX will just keep spiking up every time the fees basically go up, and then ends up being the bear market. But that's something you never know until it happens, right? Others, BTC is still shocking, still making lows, man, because ETH, friends, it's all because of Ethereum. Oh, man, I can't believe, dude, what have you been doing? Just down, literally nowhere. Like, oh, man. What do you do, man? Literally nothing else we can do except just wait it out. It does suck that we got Trump as the president again. Yeah, but the market's not doing what it did before, in terms of it used to go up on the interest rate hikes. Now it's just like capitulating dog shit. So what do you do? Now, I guess now we're all begging for, hey, US Fed, can you change something or do something? You know, but then the people who believe that, they think it has to get way worse. Then the US Fed comes and steps in. You know, so I guess we'll see. It's outside of our control anyway. Now, we'll go through some cracker news, friends. So the IRS fired 20% of its staff. Remember, because the whole premise, I guess, is Donald Trump is setting up all these tariffs. So he's removing the IRS. Now he's going to put up the ERS, external revenue. So they just collect taxes from everyone out there in the world. But this is the economy. If you want things to work like this, that's what it is. You can't get the taxes from people, from the rich people. There's not enough money to do that. And by the way, you're like literally, you're grabbing money from people who loved your country that much that they made businesses and hired all the people there and basically produced a lot of wealth. So that's kind of like, shouldn't be like chopping off your legs like that. But yeah, taxes from other countries, I guess it's all going to play out however it is. And like all these other countries are going to come out. That's what I still predict, friends. Some countries, they're going to come out. They won't be able to take it anymore. It's kind of funny. Everyone has this shock thing. Like, oh, don't worry about Trump, blah, blah, blah. But once they see, like, dude, you got 4 years of this. By the way, you don't even know if the next president is going to like undo these. You don't know. So you and I might say, oh yeah, they're definitely going to do something. But in the midst of their country yelling at them, like a politician in another country, like they can't tell their people, don't worry, the next time they do an election, there's going to be another president, and they'll like go out of their way to lower my country with a small GDP. Yeah, we will definitely get the tax breaks and stuff from that. You know what I mean? It's like it's it's so contrarian to even think of that. And there's no way politicians aren't contrarian at all. They're just doing whatever everyone wants. So I'll see how it all plays out. I guess Argentinia's president, Javier Milei, seeks new trade deal with the US to reduce tariff impacts. So you're just seeing all these politicians come back. They're like, please kiss the ring. That's what they're all here for. And it's funny enough, friends, I do have a ring for you to kiss. I am Donald Trump. Kiss the ring. Come and tell me how great I am for my country. Yes, quite the country, you might say. Here we go. So, oh man, it's funny how all these things play out. But friends, we've been watching markets forever, dude. Something was going to make the stock market drop, bro. Like, it was already teetering on the edge of poopiness anyway. Like, we've been watching it. We know markets do this stuff. It's just, what's the narrative this time? Oh, there's a big narrative. And look, I'm going to go through a bit more Jimmy Cramer stuff out here. I think it's very interesting. I've never seen the dude this bearish. You haven't either. The last time I saw him remotely this bearish was 4 tweets that Bitcoin's going down at 42K. He said, never go down. That's what he said. He just did like a 8 to 10 tweet FUD storm on the stock market. It basically, look, I hate to say it, but based off of Jim Cramer's history, this stock market is going for an epic rip through the highs. But look, I know it sounds weird. It sounds weird to me, but like, friends, it's Jimmy Cramer. Let's go back and show you the chart, because I remember this. I remember, friends, I was really concerned about the Bitcoin spot ETF. And then when we got here, Jimmy Cramer did 4 tweets. He goes, Bitcoin number go down, sell. And it literally just went up only and ripped through the freaking highs, bro. It was literally a 90% move. So I do wonder now, Jimmy Cramer here. All right, I wonder. It makes me think, friends. Are we witnessing like something that just goes? Oh man, that'd be good. That'd be really good. By the way, you know this is the biggest trap of all time, right? If we get there, if Bitcoin's 250K and then we go and do that, you know everyone's piling in here because they're gonna say Trump's tariffs worked. They worked. Okay, wait a minute. You said this first. You said they were failing at the bottom. Now you're saying they're working, and then I think about, friends. I do think about, will we get to a point where people at the top say it's different this time? Trump's got the tariffs. It's different. The cycle's broken. You know, I'm gonna crank some music for us as well. No. All right, now President Pump said this is an economic revolution and we will win. The end result will be historic. I hope you're right, sir. Friends, it is happening. US Dixie, the dollar's going down, oil's going down, and the interest rates are going down. Okay? And don't worry about what freaking Fred Powell, he's a flop as well. Okay? Literally head of bug eater freaking bank over there. Don't listen to them, friends. They're full of, and I'm gonna use a family-friendly word, poop. They're full of poop, okay? Is the US dollar down? Yes. There you go. Okay, tick number one. Is the interest rate going down? You say, oh no, but they're not cutting. Shh. Look at the US 2-year rate, all right? I'll explain more about this later, friends. It's at 3.6%. Basically, it's pricing in 4 cuts. So our rate's going down? Yes. You know when Trump got in office, friends, look at this. It was at 4.25. Here it is right now. See, it's at 4.25. So basically, it's now priced in 3 cuts from when he got in, okay? 3 cuts from when he got in, and it's actually 4 cuts total, okay? And it might even go lower. We'll see. This is the VIX as well, all right? I'll just cover it here for you. Just so everyone's aware. So, like, the macro, I know, friends, macro is boring as shit, but when the big moves happen, it's exciting. All right, it is exciting because I know you and I can't do the dip buys and stuff here, but on the big moves, we get to see how's crypto reacting. Yeah, crypto's reacting strong here. So I'm like, look, I know it's been dog poop, it's been bad and everything, but we're holding up okay. You know what I mean? Like, dude, friends, literally, if I gave you a crystal ball shaped like a Pokeball, and I said, okay, stock market is literally dropping 6.8% in a day, you would literally get 100x short. I'm not joking. In 100 scenarios, you just get 100x Bitcoin short. 100x. So guess what? You actually liquidated. So it didn't work. It didn't work this time. You know, me might say, like, we're not lucky as well. Like, we can't even use the word lucky, dude. We are underperforming for so long. Everything's so garbage. ETH BTC is down so low. Like, there's no lucky. It's just, what I'm basically like getting at is, you see the VIX at 45, but we can see through others' BTC, dude, there's no one left. There's no one left. Everybody who was even remotely a weak hand, bro, but they've been getting out for 2 years. Yeah, there's literally no one left here. There's, like, we've exhausted sellers, you know, and it's, yeah, that's why, like, it is a positive. It doesn't feel like a positive, dude, because, like, you know, we're not, like, give us an alt season or something. If you remember as well, friends, remember we talked about Dixie, the interest rates. We're also talking about oil. Look, oil went down. Oil has been going down, friends. The average level of oil, look at that, for the past couple of years, average oil price was like $79.80 under Joey Biden. Yeah, okay, that's the average price around here. Yeah, now it's down to 62. See, oil is coming down. Then you might say, but Somi, why isn't the market going up, friends? I'm just telling you, people, they fud themselves out of their bags, man. Because, okay, things are happening. And then they say, no, but this one's bad. It's the prices aren't getting lower because we want them to. Their prices are getting lower because there's a lack of demand now. No one's buying. We're going in a recession. That's it. The story just changes. I remember clearly saying, I bet if the market reacts and it's like going sideways and jittering around, that people aren't going to get turbo long. If and when that the US dollar and interest rates and everything come out as well. I mean, I literally remember saying that word for word. It's exactly what's happening now. It's just that you don't know the exact narrative. That's the thing. But you do know Spoon is your friend. I'm your friend as well. We are going to be mogging all the non-believers every single day. I know bull sounds stupid. What are you going to do, bro? Look, if you don't like it, click sell. I've told people to sell every single day. Sell, 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 sell. Okay, there's another 6 times. Okay, I've literally said sell, click sell and leave. No crying in the casino. Go cry somewhere else. No one cares what you think. Click sell and leave. Please, there you go. There's 10 times. I told you every single day. I've been telling everybody sell, sell, sell. You don't like a coin, click sell. You don't like Bitcoin, click sell. You don't like crypto, click sell. You don't like Trump, click sell. Click sell and leave. You don't like America, go export yourself out somewhere else. Okay, just literally click sell. If you're out here to cry, just know that your voice is literally a fart in the wind. No one's paying attention. All right. Check it out. Here's our president. Jimmy Cramer, President Cramer, goes full turbo bearish, saying Black Monday stock crash is coming. So let's have a listen to Uncle Jimmy Cramer.
The president doesn't try to reach out and reward these countries and companies that play by the rules in the 1987 scenario, the one where we went down 3 days and then down 22% on Monday, has the most cogency. We will not have to wait out too long, will we? We'll know by Monday. Fortunately, we had an excellent set of employment numbers today. At least it makes it less likely a crash will necessarily lead to a recession. But if President Trump stays intransigent and does nothing to ameliorate the damage that I saw these last 2 days, I'm not going to be constructive here. I will contain my anger, but only because I lived through 87, and in the end, I came out okay. I was in cash for the crash. I know what this feels like. Oh, and if Europe moves against our fabulous tech companies next week, then I will be furious. That I promise you, because it should not happen.
That's gold, actually. He's literally, it's interesting, right? Because I watched that clip for the first time here, fully with you. So if you read between the lines, he says, crash is happening, but it won't lead to a recession because of the unemployment, okay? But he's not thinking, well, everyone's calling for a crash now, because he's the everyone as well. He can't think outside that bubble, or he can. That's the funny part. And if you want to know what is that crash, here it is right now. That's what it is right now. That was it. Total down 35%. This was it. We went down for 3 days before, bang, bang, and then it gapped down. So this is crazy, right? It gapped down 5%, and then it just ran everything down 23% down here. That was it. There's the Black Monday, friends. People literally took their own lives on this. This was a horrific event, this crash. But I'll show you why did this happen. Bro, it's because the stock market went up 225% in 6 years. You see? 225% in 6 years. Did a big run up. And it's funny because you're in crypto. This looks like a stock. Doesn't this look like a standard? We're going to scam everybody. See, look at this. Everyone's got stops here. We're going to scam everybody out. Everyone thinks it's over. No recession came out of this. It was just like a technical thing. And everyone thought it was going to be a big recession. No, it didn't happen. Also, friends, there's documentaries of this day here. There's this old dude. I'll never forget this, friends, because I'll literally never forget this documentary. Okay. He's talking about living through the crash here, and he's like, oh man, it's so funny. It looks like he's having a physical ejaculation session on camera. All right, and like it fades into his face. He's like, oh, and I'm not joking, okay? Because what he's describing is he described that down here, basically no one had money, and then they basically put their last pennies in. And because he was in the CME, the Cucks Mercantile Exchange, they were on the floor. It's all the people who were on the floor. You know, these guys? So here it is, actually, 1987 crash. I think he's in one of these photos somewhere, right? He's one of the floor traders. You see that, 1987? It did like an insane amount of volume, everything. This is it. So he's, I got 4, give me 4. I got 2, give me 2. I got... I remember we tried to learn that as well when we were trading as well. It's kind of funny. Like, this means to give it 2. I want 2. And you're just like doing this, right? And the way he's describing it was they were watching the tape. And I think what he said is something happened where they thought it was literally over. It was literally coming down here. And then he said at the bottom, I think this was the end of the session. And then the next day, remember, this is like, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, it's down here. And then it comes out here, right? I think like over the Asia session, the next session, so the stock market closes, and then Asia, of course, look how pathetic Asia session is, bro. The stock market just had, bro, the stock market's down 23% of the day. Look at dog shit, garbage Asia session. They actually sell it lower into the thing. Oh, I'm from Asia session. I'm a piece of shit trader. I don't know what I'm doing. This thing's down 23% in a day. There's no value here. Let's go sell with everybody else. How stupid and pathetic are you, bro? You literally sold the 50-year low. You retardios here, you scum. But what happened is, so Asia, of course, keeps selling like they're doing freaking, just the weakest friends. I want to freaking kill them. Just the weakest hands, the freaking shitty Asia session, bro. Don't know how to hold anything. Oh, I want my 2% yield. Oh, I've got to get my 2% yield, bro. They literally can't hold them to a freaking paper bag. Thank you, America, for having big brass balls. Europe, move aside, bro. I've seen you cheat as well, okay? Asia session, my ass. So Asia session down here, and then they basically in this documentary, right, he says they come back in the next day, and I think they basically no one slept. They slept on the floor. They didn't even go home because I just like a lot of people lost like literally the whole life savings, right? And then the old guy, he comes out and he's like, they're watching the tape, and it zooms into his face or something. He's like, oh. He said the buyers kept coming in, right? And because, my friends, the S&P 500 was only 233 points back then, right? So like someone with like a 500K clip, that's like a $30 million clip and stuff coming off today equivalent, right? So they're basically saying they're watching the tape, you know, the tape is all the buyers themselves, and like these big buyers kept coming in. And then he's like saying, oh, euphoria. And it just like zooms into his face. And like, I remember when I was watching it, I was like, this is the weirdest LemonParty experience. What the hell am I watching at the time? But obviously now we're in crypto. We now know what it feels like. You're going down, and then to see this is what happened, right? This was a huge recovery, like to show that, okay, we're not going to zero. Now you might say, hey, that doesn't look that good. It does, because friends, when this is happening, they're all calling for 1929 Great Depression. So everyone thought this was going to be going all the way down here. They thought, okay, we're going below like 50. That's a 90% crash, and we're going to have a world recession, right? But then they said the buyers came in. These big buyers came in, and it was literally euphoria. And they had to sit through this and eventually started grinding up. So that's what Jim Cramer lived through. He lived through that. He's calling for that, which I don't know, bro. I just don't know, Uncle Jimmy. I don't know. When you're calling for this, and see, man, as well, you know the cause. It's Donald Trump. Donald Trump can just come out and say, maybe I won't do those tariffs. Maybe I'll drop them tomorrow. Or maybe I will keep them harder. You know what I mean? So it's not, when you have like a human when a human is but responsible for these, it changes the dynamic, because you know how to price that stuff in. Yeah. It's the unforeseen things that make everybody go loopy. I saw this as well, friends. Elon Musk has called for US of A, not to be confused with US of B, US of A and Europe to drop the tariffs. So he basically said, you know, he did some like Zoom call. Maybe he was playing Diablo. He basically said, US of A, you should. It's kind of funny, bro. You're literally best friends with the president. What do you mean? Why are you talking to us? Like, they said you should lower the tariffs and have a special economic zone, that term again, with Europe. Make it free trade. It's kind of funny, bro. Like, we're going backwards. It's just like America's just putting up taxes for the rest of the world, so Americans don't have to get taxed and get destroyed. So just do that. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And also, when it comes to Elon's thoughts on that, a lot of people believe, that the ultimate plan is, you got tariffs on everyone, but the ultimate plan is America's allies, slowly they line up and they go, please, sir, please, my country needs me, sir. Please lower the tariff, sir. They'll be lining up and doing that. And eventually, who doesn't line up? China, so Matt doesn't line up, and Vlad Putin, Russia. Okay, and maybe Iran, but, you know, we all knew that. So that might be how it all plays out, where everyone slowly says, hey, remember, we're actually friends with America, right? And they come line up, and there's deals, and who's left? It's basically China and Russia just foot the bill for everyone else, which is funny if that's actually what happens. I wonder if that's type of the game being played, and all these politics games out here. But Mark will figure it out, friends. Mark will figure it out. It is transitory. You got the US Fed, like, you got a lot of room to cut. They can print money. They can do a lot of stuff. But like, you know, bro, markets, like, they come back, right? And they come and they just test levels, man. That's it. You just don't get you know these, man. There's always these waves in these markets that come back down here and do these. These are classic standard retest. Man, it will be funny though. Wouldn't it be great, friends, if like it literally just freaking rips it at the end of the year? My gosh, man, that would be really, really, really funny. Because if we got that, that's the trap's done. Okay, you've engineered this bad crash. You put the tariffs, and so everyone will interpret busting through the highs as the economy has adjusted, the market priced it in, the tariffs are the new way. That they'll make some sort of new model out here. They really will. So that's why all of us, we've got to check the emotions, right? Crypto will be our savior, hopefully, especially when it comes to reading the crowd. Macro researchers show that everyone is angry at the economy and bearish outlook on everything, which is no surprise given the VIX is at 45 and the stock market is down 18% from the top. Also, friends, I want to quickly show you this before I move on to that section. So funny, on fun times on Pulse Chain, Pika, God bless you, it went up for 80%. The liquidity is really, really, really thin. So like, this is the thing, friends. And also Treasury bill. So Maria, the dev friends, also got an update on Treasury bill. Treasury bill, I think, I can't remember, but I think Maria could infinitely mint it. So people were scared about PDI going down because if he mints the Treasury bill, he could then use that to swap into a Tropa, and then he uses the Atropa. The Atropa's bonded with PDI, and then he can basically grab the PDI out. So he can go from Treasury bill, swap into the Atropa, get the Atropa, swap into the PDI in the liquidity pool, and take the PDI out, and he could basically like send that down. So the bonding has been, I think, lowered a bit. It used to be like 3 billion at PDI bonded with the Atropa. Now it's down to 2.5 billion. So it's like 20% less on that. And I think now Maria, he, she, they, I think they removed the admin key, I think, or they renounced the contract address for Treasury bill. So I think that's what happened, if I just clarify, which is good news, which means like you can't mint that thing anymore. That's why everyone's like, what a weird thing that happened. It looks to be some sort of orchestration out here, which is fancy business, right? By the way, just to remind you, that all started here at 0.6 cents. So if PDI is able to get back to 0.6 cents, it will have officially recovered 33 Richard Hart anti-PDI tweets, his multiple FUD wave storms, Maria's FUD, it would have recovered all of that. That's why it's pretty interesting to watch. Also with Pika as well, and the poker center, everything's linked to the Pulse. People are scrambling for their, like, man, the liquidity is so thin. But like, I don't want the people who sell, I don't want them to get back in now, bro. Why get back in? Like, just let other people. Okay, if someone out there wants to accumulate any coin of anything out here, keep accumulating, man. Keep accumulating stuff you like. And yeah, if you only have like $10 or $15 or even less to accumulate, literally every single tiny breadcrumb, even to the daily DCA, is way, way, way better and people buying down here than people selling who are trying to get back in, because they're like, they don't really believe it in anyway. That's why, like, you don't understand how thin the liquidity and stuff is in crypto. Now, remember I was going to show you the charts here. So friends, these charts looks like Trump has plunged the economy into chaos. Economic Policy Uncertainty Index. So he's basically done this. So here's the thing, bro. Of course it's all going to say this shit. The VIX is 45, stock market's down. They all say the same story, dude. You don't get that. Who's bullish now? No one. Jim Cramer's literally done the most bearish tweets I've literally ever seen him ever do. 1987. Down another two. It's going to gap down 6%, another 22% down. Everything's bad. Everything's bad. Crash, crash, crash. You have Trump plunging the economy into chaos. You have these, look, people who, look, actually, what is the next economic policy uncertainty? Just to repeat. Shares of adults who expect business conditions to worsen over the next year. So basically, every single chart they put, friends, is literally like this. Share of adults who have heard unfavorable business news coverage by the government. Or like, oh yeah, it's unfavorable to the business. So they all say this stuff, man. All of it's always, you always find these things and like, it's always a Soyboy journalist. So we know this from crypto when I see this. So this is the funny part, right? Because we're in crypto, we don't really believe the bullish narrative because the volatility is that extreme and there's no government to protect us. Like, there's no one in a suit saying, I will make sure people are taxed to bid this Ponzi. We don't have that, okay? Stock marketers do. They've got like politicians who come out and they go, we're going to put the interest rate. We're going to support you with the interest rate. We're going to do these taxes. We're going to make sure these. We're going to fix this stuff. So everyone's like leaning on them. They're relying on them. Oh, the politicians and the economy and the politicians and all these other. There's no policy in crypto. It's literally no man's land, bro. It's the wild, wild west. All right? It's like the last free market in the world. It's literally, it's kind of funny, man. Like we pump harder, but also dump harder. Okay? Because like you pump harder, people don't even know why they're buying, and then you sell, people don't even know why they're selling. They just feel bad, right? So you get that emotions and stuff in the stock market, but you don't have this cohort of people who are like, I got a 150-year chart of the stocks. I'm a big institutions. I'm not going to cheat right now, right? You don't have any of that. Even though you do have people like, who believe in it, but you have a lot of retailers. The bid is thinner. The market is obviously more volatile. So it creates a lot more chaos. So you have these two different dynamics. That's why if we're in crypto, we're looking at stocks like, you guys got it easy. You got it easy, buddy. What do you mean? Like you can print money and then buy up your stonks. You understand? We dream for that in crypto. We got none of that. We got to let you guys do it first. That's the funny part. I also want to throw this out your way, friends. So for some reason, there have been giant Pikachus have been seen all over the world. All over the world, friends. These giant Pikachus running around. I don't know why. Are they protests? Is Washington, Turkey, Israel? So this is just some sort of phenomena, and everyone's just recording it. Just like there's always a one guy. Man, it does look hilarious. It's someone in a giant Pikachu suit running around. It's funny because we know we have Poker Center on Pulse Chain, and we love Pika, which is Speed, like I started it all. It's just funny, man. Memes are taking over the world, man. People running around in giant suits and doing that. It'd be interesting though. I wonder if we just look. I think we are seeing that, friends. We're like bleeding into society. Yeah, it's like making the world more like entertaining and fun. It's like the digital world is like, doing its own holographic appearance out here in the real world. We're seeing more things like that appear. So after seeing all this, like, you listen to anyone, they're like, watch the open on Monday to see if the stock market crashes. That's what we're going to say. But you got Jimmy Cramer. I think the difference between now and 1987 is that the circuit breakers could slow things down. Circuit breakers 7%, and then 13, and then 20. So it's pretty much, it's game over. If they hit it, it's game over anyway. You know what I mean? They get hit. Oh, wow, it's game over, right? So what might we look forward to? Well, I know it's looking fans. I know I'm scared too, but like we got Jimmy Cramer calling for 1987. He's just to tell you what he's basically saying. You're gonna do in 1987. It gapped down another 4%, which is cheap already, and then it dropped another 22. So it would take us. Oh wow, that's what it would do. If it did that, oh my gosh. And then your Fed goes, you know what? Cutting rates to 1%. That's what it will do. Let me actually see what it would be like then. That would be a 30, 40% drop. Very possible, man. You got unemployment not high enough. Like it's not recession stuff. So we'll see, right? We'll see. If you're curious as well, putting it on like these little time frames. So what everyone's going to be watching, friends, this is it. This is like let's put the 1 hour chart. I know 1 hour S&P. So we're going to see what Asia does. So in Sunday night in Americana, Asia's awake. Okay, so look, just don't expect anything from Asia, bro. Asia's just, like I said, friends, don't make me snap. Okay, you want to make me snap? If you really want to make me snap, try to get me to defend Asian session players. All right? Asia, everywhere in Asia, can't hold for shit. Every country's dog shit. Every single country in Asia, Australia included, all of them, dog shit. Can't hold, paper bag selling, hunting dog shit yield, stuck in like 1% yearly yield Ponzi's, way too conservative, don't know how to buy crap, can't buy and hold anything, retraces, cheating. It's a freaking mess, man. Just don't rely on them for anything. Wait for the big dogs of Americana to come up. That's what we'll be waiting for. It would be, friends, remember, I just told you, Asia sold the bottom of the 1987 crash, the 50-year low. So I would can you just gap down here and then just like start doing your thing. That's what it starts. And then hopefully when America comes, it starts having some friendship and kindness. But once again, we're stuck down to those squiggly lines, huh? You know, crypto obviously caught up in this mess, but BT coin, friends, right now, checking his price chart up here. BT coin is holding up. I've seen like Ben Copen. He's basically said it's game over and we're gonna dump later and we're gonna all crash. So that's what everyone says. Everyone says like during this time now, they go, oh, you think crypto looks good, but the selling is just gonna happen shortly soon. It's just delayed. So once again, like, what do you do, man? What do you do? I'm gonna hold on. Boo! Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.